morning, guys.
Good morning,
Mike.
I'm Mike Snyder-Barker.
Take
Good morning,
two.
guys. I'm Mike Snyder-Barker, otherwise known as Bark's Tales, and you are?
And I'm Andy Schiller.
And this is our good friend, our neighborhood guitar player, our maestro.
One of many neighborhood guitar
Oh,
players.
right. Could you introduce yourself, sir?
Hi, I'm Mark Huff.
This is Mark Huff. He's our guest on Studio C, the listening room.
I'm a Taurus. My hobbies are
I'm a Taurus, too. What day?
5th. May 5th.
Ah, you're 2 days. My child's birthday is the 3rd, mine's the 14th. Yes. So, man, I met this dude 30 some odd years ago, and they have been very odd years. Met you at Jerry's Pub during, I think, the Jingle Bell Jam eras.
Sounds right.
You were with the Stratoloungers.
Jerry's Pub. I remember going there.
I
Yeah,
remember going there just a couple of weeks ago.
yeah, but
Hadn't been for a long time.
you've been playing guitar a long time, haven't you?
I have. I should be good at it by now, but seriously, I mean, I've been playing since I was I started dicking around with it when I was 13.
Mm-hmm.
You know, learned a few
So like
chords
10,
and
12 years
a couple
ago?
of songs. Yeah, thank you, Michael. And for as long as I've been doing it, you know, you'd think I'd be blazing awesome, but I'm not that great of a musician, but I'm told I'm a pretty decent entertainer.
Well, yeah.
And
hey.
but I'm a great recruiter. And so in the bands, I've always had awesome
Accompaniment?
lead players and things like that did all the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
And I was usually front man, so
Yeah.
I just played rhythm and sang, and I never really had to
Yeah.
You know, Gene Simmons
get
one
too
time
technical.
during an interview, someone asked him, "Hey, so how long have you wanted to be a musician, you know?" And he said, "Well, I never really wanted to be a musician. I wanted to be a rock star." So if you can entertain, then, you know,
That's half the battle, man.
that's most of the battle.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look at some of those dudes that don't really have a voice. You at least have a very good voice.
Yeah, thank you.
At least. At,
Minimum requirement.
minimum
I
requirement
meet the bar
necessary.
just, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, we've been doing these podcasts, these interviews, these chit-chats, just Andy and I. And Andy thought, Mike, you're boring. So let's bring somebody else in.
Well, that's one way to look at it.
He's
I
already
guess.
probed the depths of
Yeah.
Michael.
Yeah, and so we wanted to learn more about you. Like, what were we gonna ask?
Tell us about the bands you've been in, any recordings you've released, and about how your process is for writing songs.
Okay, let's see. The bands I've been in, like I said, 13 years old. When I was about 14, my friends Steve and Gene, they were twin brothers. We had a band called the Tully-Whackers.
What?
Because
How do you even spell that?
we couldn't think of another name, you know.
You know, that's a great name.
And I was lead screamer, and everybody plugged into one amp.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we had the guitar, Don DeMo on bass, and my little Radio Shack microphone. And we were all plugged into a Fender Bandmaster amp, and we were rocking it.
Yeah.
And Steve played drums, and we knew like Proud Mary, a couple other songs.
And you were the singer.
I was the singer, and I was
In a rock and roll band.
and I was bloody awful.
You got to start somewhere.
Oh, we were horrid. We really were.
How many bands would you say you've been in over the,
Oh,
you know, 12, 13 years since you've been
yeah,
started
can't
playing?
hold a job, I tell you. I don't know. Maybe a dozen,
Dozen? Yeah.
maybe. Because at the average life of a band, you know, a bar band is maybe 18 months.
Right. So were they all
Maybe.
classic rock, or did you do any other genres?
Because it was working in bars. So keep them dancing, keep them drinking.
So you loved playing Mustang Sally and Brown Eyed Girl.
It's one of those, if I had a nickel for every, I'd have a lot of nickels.
Yeah.
But there's a whole big list of songs that any cover band has to do.
Right, exactly.
You must do them, because if you don't, well, you suck.
Mm-hmm.
according to the crowds. You know,
Yeah.
what? You don't know Mustang
doesn't-
Sally? You can't.
Who doesn't know Hotel
lie.
California?
Yeah, you got to do. Brown-eyed Squirrel is another.
Jimmy Buffett.
Yep, Jimmy Buffet.
Yep. Yep.
Brown-eyed Girl though is another. You must do them because people are going to ask for them. So
They are.
just do it and shut
Play
up.
him twice.
Yeah, but you're not there for you.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
I've been
it.
in some bands where we're going to be premiere stuff and we're going to do all the flashy, and people will just sit down and ignore you and not have a good time.
Yeah, they want to hear the songs they know.
They do. They do.
And the ones they are accustomed to dancing to.
Sure.
We'd lie to them if we wanted to do an original tune. That one new tattoo. I'd tell people, "Here's a Bob Seger song," and we'd just jump on it. And people fill the
I
dance
love Bob
floor,
Seger.
have a real good time, and you know.
Yeah.
And then maybe you'd say, "I lied. I wrote that." And,
You snuck it in there.
Too late. I danced. Oh well.
Well,
Fool me twice.
So you've had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's not fun, I'm not going, and I'm there.
Well, yeah.
So it's going to be fun.
That's
like
right.
here today. I fully expect this is just going to be a blast.
Oh, well, I
and
hope
if it's not, you showed me where the door was.
Well, yeah, you got to get through me first.
Yeah,
And I'll let you
ain't
know.
so bad.
I'm not. Not tough at all. So we overlapped in some bands, like John Lowe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I first met him. Oh man, it was. Well, I've been married going on 35 years. So probably about 32, 33 years ago.
Yeah.
And played with him for a long time. And then, you know, I was going to grad school, I just had a baby. I mean, I didn't, I was a coach. You know, I helped a little bit. And then I couldn't play with John anymore. And so you played with him shortly after that.
Was it after that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yep.
That was called,
We were Pipe Dreams.
and then you had another name. That I think.
For a minute we were That Damn Band.
I think I've heard of that band.
That Damn Band. Yep.
Yeah.
Because my wife named us.
It's really hard to think of names of bands, and I'm terrible at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pipe Dreams was good though. That's a good name.
Yeah. John might have come up with that actually. It was either John or Tom Mueller, not me.
Yeah. Well, the band I was
didn't
in,
object.
I named it. I called it Lowball.
It's got
All right.
It's got a nice dull thud to it.
You know, I didn't want to sell it short.
It's called Low Bar.
Wow.
Well, John's last name, Low.
Oh, now it makes sense.
okay. I get it
Yeah,
now.
I spelled it Lowe,
Lowe, okay.
which is
No,
John's
You
last
have
name.
to see it
Yeah.
spelled out in order to
Yeah.
get it. Okay.
That was fun. Then
Well-
later, you know, I hope to get John in here sometime too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he'd be fun.
My next band's going to be called Lame. 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 Just put a little thing up above the E.
There's a story.
Yeah. Lame. Lame.
What's the story?
Anyway. No, there's no story. It's just like, it spells lame, everybody.
I got it.
Yeah, I was too lame to get it.
Or maybe I'll name my next band Ezra, and then we'll open for Better Than Ezra. But
Wait.
This is the one-liners episode.
Yeah.
So what's the first song you learned?
The first song I ever learned on a guitar. Well, it's kind of, there's actually two stories
Show
to
me.
this. So the first
Me being all bossy and stuff. Show me.
the
Get off
first
that
time
guitar.
I ever picked up a guitar, or the first time, like, my brother bought a guitar. He was like, "Hey Andy, there's this guitar at the guitar store." It was like 1986, right? "There's a guitar at the guitar store. It's $99, and I only have $50. Can I borrow $50 from you, and then we'll buy the guitar together?" "Sure." And then I didn't see the guitar for 3 months, right? Because he kept it in his room. Then one day he came out. He's like, "Here, Andy, you try. I'm terrible," and he gave up. Never tried ever again. Okay.
Yeah.
And I picked up the guitar and I looked at it and I was like, "There's these dots, you know, because every guitar has the dots. Dot, 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 dot. Well, that must be how you play the song.
Dot's so cool.
Because if you play the dots, it makes a song. That's why the dots are there,
Oh,
right?
I
So,
suppose.
and then this string sounds pretty good too, so. Da na 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 na.
Oh, wow, so you were into jazz at an early age.
Sounds like the
everything. Every little thing she does is
Yeah.
magic by the Police. Is
Oh.
just dot 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 dot. And I
That's
figured that
cool.
out, and then actually the first time I ever got a guitar magazine and was like, oh, I'm gonna learn a song now. Let's actually learn to play a real song. It was I don't mind you coming here,
Yeah, Cars.
wasting all my time. That was the first song I
Good
ever
start
learned
tunes.
because it was all power chords and I could play the whole
Right.
song.
Right.
What was the first song you ever learned?
See if I can even remember it. But I was thinking of that just this morning.
Dirty Water.
That was my first big lick. Dirty Water by the Standells. I'll tell you a story. Story about my town. Yep.
Love some Dirty Water.
Oh, that's before my time, guys.
Love that dirty water. Oh, Boston, you're my home. Yeah, babe. Frustrated women. You don't know the Standell?
I don't know the Standells.
You're just a baby.
I'm just too young, I guess.
Didn't Mitch Ryder do that and said, Detroit, you're my home?
He may have.
Yeah.
He's stolen a lot of great stuff.
Well, and I think he only played cover tunes. I don't know that Mitch Ryder wrote much at all.
I love his version of rock and roll.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
Lou Reed song.
Yeah.
Janet said when she was 5 years old.
Yeah, that's a great
Nothing
tune.
going down at all.
Yeah.
His version is
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Cool. Mike, what was the first song you ever learned?
On drums?
Yeah, when you started.
Well, I
Like
remember playing to records in the basement, and there was quite a variety of them that I really couldn't follow well. And so I joined this band, and they played a lot of heart stuff, and had two female lead singers. I couldn't tell you exactly what song it was because it didn't really stand out. And for me, beats were just beats. It didn't matter what the song was. All I had to do was 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I mean, that's rock and roll, right?
You got it.
As far as guitar, I think I started learning my own music. I wrote several songs that other people played the guitar parts for, so I didn't know how to. And so Andy, you probably don't remember because you have too many students, but probably something easy like maybe it was Lonely Shadow or something like that. Couldn't tell you.
A song with chords?
It was a song with chords. Because I can't do any of that fancy stuff. I can't do that. I can't do any of that.
When we started lessons, you were first you learned your chords, then you learned your keys, and then you were figuring out how to switch chords fast, and then you figured out how to change key.
Yeah.
And that kind of changed everything, because then your songwriting kind of developed from there.
I appreciate that opportunity that I had during COVID to work with you online and then in person. Now I write songs all the time.
And now look at us, we've got our own podcast.
Woo! So Mark,
Rock stars.
what are some of your stories, your war stories of playing live?
Well, back when I was young,
Back in the day.
What's your best gig or worst
me
gig
and
or most
Clapton
memorable?
were doing smack in the middle.
You were smacking each other?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Talking smack. I don't know. Stories.
that's just stood out for any reason? Or does it all just blur together?
I mean, it's all been really good.
Yeah.
You know, I can't think of a bad experience on stage. Not really. Almost got into a couple of fights, but that's...
That's with the band members.
Yeah, actually.
Wow. Okay.
Actually, one time I got into a pushing contest with a singer on stage once, and I love him. I do. You know who you are. I don't know. It's all been really pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, and on stage, I think it's. I hate boring bands. Okay.
Well, yeah.
I used to play with this one guy in a couple of different groups, who would great guitar player, just really, really very, very good.
Yeah.
And but he would just stand there, and that's all he did, you know. And we used to make fun of it. His name was Mike, and we called him Mike Stand, because he would just stand. Stand Mike. I mean, one time he went like, we all stopped. Whoa, did you see that awesome rock star move Mike just did, everybody?
That's more typical of a bass player, isn't it? Like the John Entwistle stoic kind of back there and just...
Yeah. I remember somebody was asking their drummer or something. I think it might have even been Keith Moon. They were asking him, you know, you don't get up and jump around and everything like the others. And he says, "Oh, get up and dance when Entwistle does."
Yeah. Bass players commonly are a little more stoic.
A little.
Yeah.
Tom Mueller. No,
Yeah.
No, Tommy.
Nope.
Tommy will stalk the stage.
I know Tom. I played in the band with Tom for a while too.
Oh, that's right. Gypsy Moth.
Gypsy Moth.
I
That's
remember.
right.
That's right. Those guys.
That was 150,000 years ago.
Way back in the dark ages.
Back when I had actually pigmentation in my beard.
I had a pig in my beard once. And a raccoon.
It must have been pretty long. You know,
He was
one-
about like that. Yeah.
One thing I've known about you over all the years is that you really do love entertaining people. You love being around people. You love
it's fun.
watching
You know,
people have fun.
I mean, let's face it, boys and girls. The whole music thing, it's ego. It's all about me.
Yeah.
You gotta
I
have
want people to watch me, and to make them do that, you have to
Entertainment.
entertain them.
To have a successful band, you need someone like that.
Well,
Hopefully it's the singer, but it doesn't always have to be.
No, but you want them to have fun.
Yeah.
You know, and when they're having fun, you feed off of that. And so you work with the crowd.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes if it's not moving, I'll pick on them. You know, we'll do stuff like,
Yeah.
hey, if I don't get 5 people on the dance floor here, we're going to play some Monkeys, damn you. and we
threat.
do.
What a threat.
Yeah, it worked pretty good though.
The Monkeys.
I love the Monkeys.
I love the Monkeys.
Yeah, I recently learned I'm a believer, not by memory. I'm still on paper.
I still play the Monkeys. They had the most awesome songwriting teams.
Yeah,
and,
they did.
I did just the other day. I was working on Sometime in the Morning.
Oh yeah, beautiful
Mickey,
song.
it's an awesome song. Carole King wrote that.
You know, I'm a believer. Pleasant Valley Sunday. Those
Carole King wrote that
Yeah.
too.
I only know the hits, but I don't know their more obscure songs.
Those were hits.
Yeah, Pleasant Valley
That
Sunday
just
is
shows how
great.
young I am, I guess.
Yeah.
But speaking of songwriting, so the other day we had our singer-songwriter group that met, and we do it once a month here, and Michael is the host of it. And Mark came and showed us a song.
That
And
was
so
fun.
let's talk about, how do you write a song? Do you start with the words first? Do you start with the chords first? What's the process?
It changes. Sometimes you just get a melody and you figure out the chords to that and then fill in the blanks. But mostly for me, it's like I'll get the hook.
The hook.
The verse, the the part
Every
that
song
grabs you.
has to have a hook.
Yeah,
you know,
or
that's-
the chorus, or the gimme, the grab you,
Yeah.
the hook,
and it's sometimes
the part that you're gonna remember.
right. It's sometimes the name of the song, but it doesn't have to be.
You know, I had a bandmate that we played only originals, and he was so frustrated with me sometimes because I wouldn't include the title in the body of the song.
I could see that.
You know,
How annoying.
it is annoying. Yeah, I mean, how do you know what you're listening to? I mean, I wrote this song that Andy and I have been talking about a lot recently, Epic Tale, Part 1. And the words epic tale don't appear in the song at all. Doesn't need to. But yours does.
No, not always. Come to think of it.
The one you played last week.
Yeah.
Or last.
That was a new tattoo.
New Tattoo. You said New Tattoo a lot.
Yeah, that's the name of the song.
Yeah.
For God's sake.
Repetition
But
is the key.
remember that the first time I was over
Yeah.
here and we did that song about feeding the birds.
Yeah.
That's called 2 o'clock feeding. There's nothing in there that says 2 o'clock feeding.
Right.
You know, as
And when
a,
you see the title, you'd think it's about feeding a child, 2 o'clock feeding, but it's about
Right.
feeding birds at the park at 2 o'clock.
you know, as a drummer, I didn't know anything about writing chords until Andy helped me out quite a bit, and so my process is still the same. I still just write the words first because that's how I learn how to do it, and then I find music that just kind of that the song calls for.
So your inner Bernie Taupin comes out,
Yeah.
and then he gets on to Elton.
When I've been in a band, I just kind of write the riffs, like a lot of rock is based on riffs
Yeah.
rather than, G chord, C chord, D chord. A lot of time it's, one note at a time riff or power chords. And so I would write the whole song beginning to end, have intro, verse, chorus, bridge,
Bridge,
double
yeah.
chorus, ending. And I would kind of have everything kind of plotted out. And then I would just hand it to the singer and go, can you think of anything to sing over this? And with the singers I played with before, they tend to appreciate how much is already done.
Yeah.
Because if you're like, I have this one idea, it's 4 seconds long, can you help me? Okay, well, now I have to write a whole song. But if you just hand them a whole song and say, this song is done, it just doesn't have
Yeah.
the singing on it yet,
Yeah.
then that's like a ramp that gives you your momentum, like, hey, it's 90% done. All I have to do now is sing over it.
Have you had many collaborators in songwriting?
No.
Okay.
No, it's all about me and my song. And I don't play well with others.
Yeah.
But
I've heard that.
in a band, we played a lot, not a lot, but several originals with the Stratoloungers.
Yeah.
And Todd Bailey
Yeah.
wrote some great stuff with massive horn arrangements and everything. And
Yeah.
and
Wow.
he had one called "Dance Damn It." It was just really, really, really a great song. And one called Bohica, Mr. Bohica. It was Bend Over, Here It Comes Again. Bohica.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh.
Bend over, here it goes again. Mr. Bohica's on his way.
All right.
It was a dance tune. It was great. It was great.
Yeah, I get the whole feel
But
of it.
I played other people's originals, but
Yeah.
I've never really written
Yeah.
a song with anybody else.
I've always felt that it kind of becomes exponential. Like, you have my energy, you have your energy, but then when we both work on the same song, it becomes 4 times what it was, so it just kind of multiplies.
Yeah, but sometimes too much is too much,
Creative clashing ideas and personalities.
Well, even like Lennon McCartney.
Right. Right.
Lennon wrote this, McCartney wrote that. Not often did
Yeah.
the twain meet.
Right.
You can
Right.
you can tell a Lennon song from a McCartney
Right.
song. almost
Although,
always.
didn't Richards
they
and
collaborate a little bit. But
Didn't Richards and Jagger primarily collaborate?
I
Nobody studies that. Nobody looks into it.
I don't really think of that.
There's a saying that says, write a word, get a third. And so I've you know, like on a lot of Rick Beato videos right now, where he talks about, okay, I'm going to listen to the top 10 songs on Spotify, and I'm going to make comments about them, and he lists the singer-songwriters. Sometimes on, like, pop song, top 10, there's going to be 13, 14, 15 songwriters listed for a song. And I'm thinking, how can 15 people all write that song? Must be one person just came in, let's put "and" in right there. Okay, well, I'm a songwriter now.
Let's remove "and" from that spot.
Oh, okay, well, now you're a songwriter too.
Well, and also I think that there are contractual obligations.
Yeah.
There's a certain superstar whose name goes on a lot of stuff that she didn't have anything to do with the song.
Mm-hmm.
And I read things from songwriters and people that have worked with her in the studio that they think that's really unfair, but they still want her to do the song because she's huge. And I'm not going to mention her.
So these
name
are songs she
because,
sings.
You know, I could mention her name because she's never going to work with me anyway. You know who I'm talking about, Beyonce.
I'm convinced that some people are owed favors, and they're like, you know what? Since you drove me to the airport that one day, I'm going to put you down as a songwriter on this song.
And then you get the royalties.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'd be happy to share all of my royalties with somebody. Once the debts are paid off.
Yeah, I think I'm up to 3 cents now on Spotify. So, hey, in about 180 years, I'll reach the payment threshold where they'll send me $10.
I've had 2 payments of 25 over the 10 years since I've been on
Yeah,
those.
isn't that
Wow.
sad?
Yeah.
The industry has changed.
Yeah.
People used to, Napster killed the music industry,
Yeah.
you know, because now everybody just assumes that music is free.
Everything's different.
Everything is different now, and for anybody to make a buck at all, they got to sell a bunch of merch and do
that's
the
it.
concerts and everything else, and they got to pay out for their own promotions and all this. Used to be they had A&R guys that would go out, hit the
Yeah.
clubs, hear a good band, promote them. They made the money selling albums.
Yeah.
That's what
That was
that's
the
what it
answer.
did. But now, no, you got to be on. You got to be online, and you could have 1 million downloads is going to get you like $4. So it's
Yeah, we could talk all day about how Napster kind of changed the whole buying music thing. But
Yeah.
on a side note, here's my contribution to the conversation. Not only did selling music and releasing music change, but the quality that you listen to changed because
man.
Napster went to MP3s,
Yep.
and so you listen to the music and it's no bass. It's just a crunched file, and everyone's like, well, that's what music sounds like now. And my daughter, she's a preteen. She listens to music on her phone or on her iPad, and I'm listening to it along with her. I'm like, wow, this must have a killer bass. Too bad we can't hear it.
yeah.
And I mean, if you listen to headphones, maybe you could appreciate it.
Right.
But now we're in the age of lo-fi. It's like if you really want to hear surround sound or actually have a sub and listen to the bass and properly appreciate all the frequencies that are there, it's more rare, I think.
Well, lo-fi, that's the quality of AM radio, and that's what people started off with, so we've kind of come full circle.
Yeah, AM radio is mono. It doesn't have stereo. It's not
But
left
it
and
was
right.
awesome.
I worked at a radio station at Adrian College, WVAC, 10 watts of pure power in mono.
Reaches at least out to the parking lot.
Gosh, I grew up listening to CKLW.
Oh, yeah, me too.
From
Yeah.
Windsor.
Windsor, yeah.
Yep. And it was like CKLW.
CKLW.
The Motor City.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were huge.
They
and
were.
they broke all the big acts. The Motown
Yep.
sound all came out of Windsor. The Guess Who,
Ooh,
them.
them?
Also, and they were Canadian band, and the secretary down there
Yeah.
or something says, no, we're pushing these guys. And
Well, right. pushing
CKLW
US.
was huge. I mean, they filled the whole Midwest, get them down in Carbondale, Illinois,
Yeah.
and all over the place. They used to
Yeah.
call it the Great White Voice. It was just like
And
movie station.
maybe before your time. Are you familiar with CKLW?
No, I'm more of like, I remember 89X when it came
Oh, yeah.
out, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
used to
remember.
sit there with my finger on the
babies.
record button with a
Such
blank
babies.
tape. Like, if my favorite song comes on the radio, I'm going to record it because that's
Right.
how I would get a copy
That's
of it.
it.
God, when I started high school, there was an underground music station.
Oh.
Yeah, that was WABX out of Detroit, Ann Arbor.
Well, and that's-
and it was like ABX,
It's
the
different than
station that
89X.
glows in the dark.
Yeah.
And it was freeform
I remember
FM
WABX.
radio. And ABX, a lot of the disc jockeys and stuff are still around from
Yeah.
ABX, but they it was freeform FM radio. They played Inagata the Vita. They were the ones that did the edit to make it a single, but they used to play the whole side at night.
Yeah.
And they played The Pusher by Steppenwolf. And
yeah.
it's like, God damn, the Pusher Man. And I'm like,
Wait, they cussed.
They
said a
you
swear
can't
word."
say that on radio. Oh my God, these guys are so cool. You know, I mean,
You know, I grew up in Detroit, so I grew up listening to that
Yeah.
stuff. And I would listen to Arthur P. You know, on
Arthur.
WRAF.
Arthur Penhollow. Yeah.
Yeah. Arthur P.
Baby.
Baby. Yeah. All that good stuff. But then I remember when 94 Wheels just popped up back in the very late 70s.
Yeah.
Wheels, they became what Riff used to be in a lot of ways, or maybe what W4 used to be.
I guess I just didn't have a good enough radio in my car. I really never
Well,
listened.
I lived in Detroit.
But
You
then
lived
too,
out here.
oh, yeah, yeah.
For me, in West Michigan, we listen to WRIF, but we also listen to LAV from Chicago.
Oh,
You ever listen to WLAV?
No.
They're still on the air.
okay.
I listened to The Loop.
Okay.
I was in the Navy for a long time, and I was stationed at Great Lakes.
Okay.
And I used to listen to The Loop, and I can't. What's that guy? Jonathan Brandmeier. That was his name. He had the morning show and
There's a new station.
did a bunch of stuff.
They play a lot of local music. It's called Sonic Coast. You know, and I've heard some of my friends actually on that station, which is kind of fun.
Cool.
I haven't submitted any of my music yet. One of my friends turned me on to it. A guy that goes by the name of Blues Dad.
Oh wait, no.
Just a dad who loves the blues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his shtick.
That's his
Yeah.
persona.
Yeah, you met him at the Apalumka.
Yeah, I've met him a couple of times.
Yeah, good guy. Maybe we'll have him in at some point.
We should have him as a guest.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah. He's a retired teacher.
Well, here we are, almost out of time for our podcast.
What?
So if we wrap things up, why don't we do a song? You want to play a song and sing a song for us?
No. Maybe. Okay. Sure. What song
Mark,
do you want to do?
You want to play us out, I guess is what he's saying.
Oh. What shall we do?
How about something you know?
That always a good thing. I don't know. I'm really not. He said to bring my guitar, but I have no idea.
Play us the song that you wrote,
Oh, you want to do that one?
or play blues.
I was just thinking Ruby Baby. It just jumped into my head. By Dion and the Belmonts, you know. I got a girl and Ruby is her name. But I can't remember the words, so we won't do that.
I'm not good at jamming along, so I brought the cajon so I could, I didn't have to sit here looking like a doofus. I mean, I know I always do, but more so. How about...
Do we have to worry about copyright? And stuff like
please.
I wouldn't
Sue
worry
me.
too much about it.
Sue me for nothing.
You can do a cover song.
that? Okay. That helps.
After all, I played Journey last time.
Yeah.
Did you?
And I didn't stop believing.
Well, that's why they...
This will be the end.
Okay, one of my favorite songwriters, Rob Thomas,
Okay.
from
Matchbox 20?
Matchbox 20, yeah. Any more than that, Rob would get upset.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah, we've been sitting here in Studio C, the listening room,
See?
with our good friend Mark Huff. And
Andy Schiller.
I was trying to think of something.
about it.
I was trying to think of something clever, and
My good
I
friend,
don't- And I'm Michael Snyder-Barker, Bark's Tales, and we will catch you on the flip side.